how do you help people?
How do I help people? Well, so if you would go back with me to August of 2016, so not even 3 years ago, I tripped and I fell one day, and I realized a few hours later that I had developed a hernia, and it was something really simple. I went to the hospital, they examined me, and within 3 days, I was on the operating table getting this hernia repaired. However, they weren't able to actually do the hernia surgery because when they entered my navel with the laparoscopic camera, they discovered something going on inside of me that was not supposed to be happening. So the doctors had to abort the hernia repair and brought me out of anesthesia. And eventually the physician came back in and explained to me we weren't able to do the hernia repair because we witnessed a growth. He called it a growth or a mass about the size of a lemon on your lip. And so we took some biopsies and we sent them off to the lab, and we'd like to keep you here at least overnight and run some more tests. He could see that I was in shock. I mean, because I had been displaying no symptoms of any kind at all. In fact, by then I was sober for 12 years. I was newly married, and everything in my life had been going amazingly well. And so he could see I was in shock. And so he excused himself and said, "Mr. West, when you have any questions, I'm just going to be right out here beyond, in the next room. Please just call for me." And so I bawled my face off. I cried and I prayed. I prayed the Serenity Prayer for about, 20 minutes to a half an hour. I just bawled my face off and I prayed. I cried and I prayed and I cried and I prayed. And when it was all done, all the prayers were said and all the tears were shed, underneath all of that, I had this knowing. I realized that I actually was going to be able to rely on something that I call all the spiritual muscles that I'd been building for the 12 years previously. And because I had no idea what was yet to come, it still was 3 more months before I actually received a diagnosis of it, but it was an extremely, extremely traumatic experience, time for me. And so I discovered that there was a place underneath where I had faith in my faith. And so we all go through challenging periods in our life. And having faith is an amazing thing. It's crucial, but there's actually deeper levels when you really, really are building your spiritual muscles. And this does not necessarily have to do with God. If somebody, is an atheist or agnostic, you can still build spiritual muscles, or you can call them attitudinal muscles, muscles to build your enthusiasm and to be able to support you through the hard times. So, and that's what I did.